Let's move on to the Wizards, guys. And I wanted to. They're also off to the West Coast, but they have a much more manageable West Coast swing than the Capitals do. They're coming off 2 wins in a row, big one over Brooklyn over the weekend. I want to assess sort of the standing in the NBA Eastern Conference. And Dan, I'll start with you on this. The Wizards face Sacramento, Portland, and Lakers, and then Denver, 4-game West Coast stretch. Tell me where you think they'll finish. Right now, they're 35 and 31. Couple games, game and a half behind Chicago, and a couple games back of Toronto for that 4th and 3rd spot. Do you see that changing at all down the stretch?
You know what I think is going to change? And I think that I have been accused, and the media have been accused of being overly optimistic about local teams, but I'm going to do it again. I can't help it. I think that the Wizards will overtake the Bulls, and I think they'll play each other in the first round, but I think the Wizards will be 4 and the Bulls will be 5. That'll be a rematch of the only series that the Wizards have won in the playoffs in my adult lifetime, which was against the Bulls in 2005, I think. I just think the Wizards' schedule still sets up really well for them. You know, one of the big question mark games was that Brooklyn game. They had every reason to lose that game. They were down by double digits. I think they were down by 9 in the 4th quarter, and they found a way to win. Same thing in Orlando. They were down 6 with a minute left. I mean, that's a game that they could have easily lost, and they won it. And the schedule is just really, really weak. So I think they're going to play well enough to overtake the Bulls and finish with the 4 seed.
Wow. Steinberg being optimistic on the local teams, continuing to be the anti-Kornheiser in town. All right, Mr. Reed.
I mean, they're playing well, and they're winning games without,
right.
without this guy. We thought
without
they couldn't win without.
Who knew? Jay, would you agree? You think that they have a chance to get a home court in the first round?
I agree with Steins. I mean, you look at what they've been able to do with Nene out. Ariza stepped up his game. John's become a star. Beal has, he's got the ankle, but he's played very well too. Gortat has been just out of his mind. They got to resign that guy. So yeah, I agree with Steins. I mean, I would not be shocked if they, with the schedules they have remaining, it's always on paper. You actually obviously have to go out there and play the teams, but with the way it looks on paper and with what they've accomplished so far, I agree with Steins. I think they might be able to overtake the Bulls and finish 4th.
All right, 2 bullish takes on the Wizards.
Bullish.
Bullish. There you go. No pun intended.
I want to change the tide. I look at the way 2 players are playing, and it doesn't allow me to feel the comfort of saying that it's a runaway that they'll overtake the Bulls. That's Drew Gooden and it's Trevor Ariza. The way Trevor Ariza is playing and the way he's shooting, you can't assume that he's going to be able to maintain that type of shooting percentage. You can't assume that Drew Gooden is going to continue to be the boost that he's been since signing to this team. So for that, call me a skeptic. But
skeptic.
Yeah, all right. Well, there it is. You're a Kappa.
There we go. Leading into the show now.
The interesting thing is that I don't see them, even with the schedule not being overly difficult. I just can't see them playing at that high of a level the rest of the way with those 2 guys being really, in essence, I mean, Ariza is your most productive player for this team.
With that said, Jason, you touched on this before with Gortat. I have a quick question in the last minute that we have. Gortat, Ariza, 2 key players down the stretch here and have proven themselves to be very valuable to the team this year, both free agents at the end of the year. Who is the priority for the team? Gortat or Ariza, if they had to choose one?
You have to sign Gortat. You have to, because Rennie, I was supposed to say Rennie, because Nene, he's going to miss games. I mean, the guy's proven that since he's going to miss games. You have to sign Gortat. I mean, if they don't sign Gortat.
Then, like you talked about in your column, there's just such a overflow at that one position right now, which basically keeps Otto Porter, the number 3 pick, not playing at all in his rookie season. Right. And you look at guys play in the rookie seasons, he doesn't play at all anymore, basically.
Then Gortat's the one. How big a priority then secondarily is Ariza to get back?
I think Ariza has played himself into that consideration. I think that you would be foolish not to try to re-sign him and make it a priority to re-sign him because he's shown on a top-tier team that he can be a go-to guy when he was in Los Angeles. He came here, and now he's playing true to form like he did when he was there. I think you have to make it a priority to
We're
try to
jumping ahead of ourselves. We'll have plenty of
Can I say
time
one more
to talk
thing
about
the standings? I think that probably, at this point, they've got 16 games left. They probably have to win 10 or 11 games to get that 4 seed that I was talking about. If they do that, we're talking 45, 46, 47 wins.
They haven't done that since.
They had 45 wins, I think, once with Arenas, but they haven't done 46 since the early 80s, I believe, maybe in the late 70s. Yeah. So I mean, it's
even a couple weeks ago, I couldn't imagine we'd be
bizarrely
talking like
uncharted
that right now. I
territory,
mean, they've been great since Nene went down. Go figure. All right, let's move on to the
I think I said
Capitals,
that was gonna
guys.
happen, didn't I?
You did say that. You guys were both very
I said they
optimistic
would
when
go
that happened.
down, though.
I thought that they would struggle. I thought
thought
they'd
they'd
struggle for 500.